I'm the Director of Clients and Partnerships at Aqua Consultants, which means I generally head up our account management, sales, and business development processes for Aqua Consultants. Um, Aqua Consultants is a consultancy in the water, energy, and environment sector, and we recently bid on a framework with Northumbrian Water. We asked for help on the Northumbrian Water Assessment Centre in particular, because the bid process is fine. You know, that's pretty normal. We do that day to day, but we don't often get asked to go to assessment centres for clients. So that was a bit of a step out of the norm for us. And when we asked around, we checked the people that were going, how comfortable were they? Would they want some um, pointers or some advice for the assessment centre? And we got quite good feedback for that. And so we reached out to iOpener for help. I knew a couple of people from iOpener from a past life and had a good idea what they did. I kept in touch through their website and through LinkedIn and whatnot. So I knew they provided this sort of service. I didn't realize how tailored and specific it was going to be, but I knew it was along the right lines for what we were looking for the assessment centre. So just reached out for an initial chat actually to see if it was the sort of thing they could help with, um, and it was. With regards to normal pitches, if it's a normal project pitch or quite often with bids, you get a sort of direct level conversation. So we're used to that. We will do a bit of prep back at the office, sort of, check through the bid, check through the win themes, check through the key points we want to get across, and might do a couple of dry runs, but that's just a one to one or a 2 to 1 almost interview situation. So for that aspect, we were pretty comfortable. It was the assessment centre, which was all teamwork and collaboration and different scenarios that we weren't really familiar with that we wanted help with. The session, I remember it really well. It was not in our office. It was just across the road at the hotel to get off site to give it a slightly more authentic feel. Um, and we had the four people going to the interview and four sort of standby people. So it was proper teamwork and yeah, the whole day was great. We started off with a bit of an overview of what to expect. So high level, what the different breakout sections might be, what the different challenges might be. And that was great. We had a few dry runs at those. We got some feedback. We went again, and you could tell every time we did an iteration, it got better. And that was fundamental to the day, which is great. But actually, some of the value that I got um, was towards the back end of the day when we started to talk about what's going to happen between the sessions and the importance of making an impact when you're technically not being assessed, but clearly are being assessed, and how to sort of how get your points across and collaborate, get involved in conversations, and yeah, be able to put your points across in between the sessions. That was something I hadn't considered before the session with iOpener. The impact for me individually, I was actually quite new to Aqua at the time. So on a very, very personal level, it was a great way to get to know some new colleagues that I hadn't actually met yet, as well as some of the colleagues that I was familiar with and working quite regular with. Um, and also from a personal level, I just felt a lot more comfortable and confident after the training session about what to expect, which is always helpful, but also, where my particular strengths were, and so I should try and put myself forwards, and perhaps where I was a bit weaker, and should allow my colleagues to step forward. So personally, I felt a lot more comfortable going into it. I was also a lot more comfortable with the team going into it, so I knew that the team had all been through this and were in the same place as me. So it just meant that we went much more relaxed. Um, and on another, as an aside, it was just a great training day. So for the four people who were the standbys, they knew they probably weren't going to come to the assessment centre, and all said at the end of it that they took a lot out of it, just um, in terms of general development for at work, presentation skills, impacts, personal conversation and things like that. So it's a really good day. It was 2 days, all felt really confident. I actually had a really good 2 days, and enjoyable 2 days, which was nice. And I guess crucially, the outcome was successful. We went optimistically, we went hopefully, and we were really pleased when we were successful overall with the tender, but particularly on the assessment centre, we scored. That was some of our highest marks alongside the bid and the interview and stuff. It was the assessment centre which really stood out in terms of what it meant in terms of outcome for Aqua. Northumbrian Water was a client we did bits of work with, but it was ad hoc. And now we've got a dedicated framework for Aqua Consultants, and Northumbrian Water have become a real key client for us. And there's a good chance they will be one of our top clients as we go into AMP8 for the next 5 years. So the training session itself was facilitated by Dan Marsh, who I hadn't met before, but I did see his CV in advance, and so I'd seen that as well as um, running these impact training sessions and assessment centre sort of support, that he was an actor in the past, and it was immediately obvious as soon as you met him. And actually, I think that was a really great part of the training. Everyone who attended, really worked on their presentation and impact and yeah, just how they came across, and that was yeah, a lot of that was down to Dan's personal sort of approach, I think, style.